This video will explain how to translate biconditionals. Biconditionals are two logical statements joined by the words if and only if. For example, P if and only if Q. So P if and only if Q is a shorthand way of saying P if Q and P only if Q. So we could translate this statement as Q arrow P, so that's the P if Q part, and P arrow Q, and that would be the P only if Q part. However, that's a lot to write every time we want to write if and only if. So we're going to have a shorter way of translating it, which uses the double arrow. And so then to translate P if and only if Q, we simply have to replace the if and only if with the double arrow. So we get P double arrow Q. So here are some examples of biconditional statements. I will make dinner if and only if you wash the dishes. You can hang out with your friends if and only if you finish your packing first. I will wash your monkey if and only if you pay me $1 million. So let's translate these sentences. So, I will make dinner if and only if you wash the dishes will be translated as M double arrow W. Now, with biconditionals, so recall when we had conditionals, the two parts of the conditional, the two parts on either side of the operator had different names. So the formula to the left of the arrow is called the antecedent in a conditional, and the formula to the right of the arrow is called the consequent. Likewise, conjunctions, the two parts of the formula on either side of the operator, have special names. So the formula that's on the left-hand side of the ampersand is called the left conjunct, and the formula on the right-hand side is called the right conjunct. Well, with biconditionals, the two parts on either side of the operator don't have any special name. I don't know why, they just don't. So if we have to refer to them, we can refer to them as, I guess we would refer to it as the formula on the left-hand side of the biconditional, or the formula on the right-hand side of the conditional. Okay, so you can hang out with your friends if and only if you finish your packing first. That would be translated as H double arrow P. And then finally, I will wash your monkey if and only if you pay me $1 million. That will be translated as W double arrow P. Okay, so there are also synonyms for if and only if. So one of the synonyms for if and only if is just in case, or just in the case. So for example, you could say, I will wash your monkey just in the case that you pay me $1 million. Another synonym for if and only if is if you see this IFF. So if you see IFF, that's not a typo. That's not an if that's written wrong. That's a really short way of writing if and only if. So pretty much only logicians use IFF. But since it's a logic course, you might encounter it. So it's good to be aware of it. And a really long way to write a biconditional is to say it is a necessary and sufficient condition for. So you could say, you paying me $1 million is a necessary and sufficient condition for my washing your monkey. We could also use the expression but only if, and that would say the same thing as if and only if. So I could say, I will wash your monkey, but only if you pay me $1 million.